we move on to Group G. Belgium, for me, pretty easy top in this. We've got the GOAT, Kevin De Bruyne, in his it's probably his last World Cup, end up on a high, and then no one can chat shit and put stupid people like Bruno Fernandes in conversation with him. Second for me, again, it's a bit of a toss-up between Egypt and New Zealand. But I just think all three teams, again, probably deal with the conditions and stuff, so I don't think there's anything really on that side of things. Egypt, I think, obviously their best player ever will probably be Salah. Hasn't stepped up to it this season. I just think they've got too much. They've got, Marmoush in there as well. I think they'll do all right in these conditions. Realistically, a win will do it, and I think they can beat either Iran or New Zealand, so I can see them getting through. Group H is pretty self-explanatory. Spain, who are one of the favourites for the tournament, I think will go very far at the minimum. For me, in my opinion, will finish top. Uruguay in second, Saudi Arabia third, and then Cape Verde in fourth. Spain, I think, are pretty clear in this group. Uruguay, I'll be honest, I've looked at the team. I know it hasn't been particularly great anyway, but other than Valverde, their team is proper shite. So I don't see them getting very well at all. And I mean, well, obviously the amount of teams, it goes to around the 32 before it goes around the 16 after the group stage. I don't necessarily know who they would get, but I think there's a good chance they get knocked out at that stage. But I think they've found themselves a bit lucky. And what has been a common theme across this is that just because the amount of teams, there's not a lot of groups which have like 3 or 4 all strong teams. So I think they'll be pretty comfortable in beating Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde. Saudi Arabia did quite well the last World Cup, obviously pulled off that shock in the first game against the eventual winners, Argentina. That, for me, puts them above Cape Verde. We'll come back later to see if they'll get one of my potential third spots. Group I, for me, is probably the toughest one to call in terms of quality. Now, France, for me, get through. I don't think it'll be as easy as people make out. I do see them as one of the favourites for the tournament, possibly could have them winning it. But I think they play Iraq first, which obviously helps them out. If they play Norway and Senegal in the first 2 games, I think those games will be very, very close. I think they kind of bundle over the line in those ones, but I do think they'd win. So I have them first. Then Norway and Senegal, obviously we have Erling Braut Haaland and that shithead from Arsenal, Martin Ødegaard. Norway probably overall have a better squad, and I know I am basing this a lot on what I've seen at first glance, but I just think the weather conditions will be very, very bad for them. It's always very chilly in Norway. Norway's for the Vikings, where it's cold, not where it's beaming hot. Do you know what I mean? And a team like Senegal, talked before on Morocco. Obviously Morocco now are the winners, but and I know Senegal were a bit of sore losers, just walking off because of the penalty. But yeah, they actually won the game. They are a very good squad as a whole. I can see them doing a little bit of a decent run, depending on who they get in round 32. I haven't looked that far ahead, like I said. But for this group specifically, I think Norway probably have better individual players. Could argue they have a better squad anyway, but I think Senegal, the difference in squad isn't that much. The difference in being able to cope with the heat, Senegal puts them above. As I said before, Iraq for me, don't know a lot about them. Might give me a surprise like some of the other teams I've mentioned, but I think Norway, who I have in third, will still get through because I think they beat Iraq. Group J does kind of go against what I've just said with the conditions, but I don't know why. I just have a sneaky feeling that Austria will finish first in this group. Argentina are probably the weedest squad at the World Cup, because I looked at the team and a lot of them were there for the last World Cup, but that was 4 years ago. And to be honest, I probably said it then, and they went on to win it, to be fair, but I look at it now and I'm like, what? How was some of these World Cup? How was this the Argentina squad? What has this Argentina squad come to? Even though I thought we weren't a great squad at the time, like McAllister, I think was still at Brighton. Yes, someone at Brighton being in the starting midfield and playing pretty much every game for Argentina is a bit, but at least he was playing good for Brighton. And I know he had that good season for Liverpool, don't get me wrong, but this season just gone, he has been fucking shite. And also I look at the back line, Christian Romero. The season he just had with Tottenham, absolute shocking. Nicholas Otamendi again, someone who I have witnessed firsthand play for my club. He's an absolute dross. He had the first couple decent seasons, but then after that, just like, I mean, again, like I said, how some of these lot have won the World Cup, I don't know. The back line is pretty much the same, but again, I really don't understand how that back line's won a World Cup. They've got the likes of Alvarez up front, but the weird thing with these players is, regardless of how shit they are for their clubs, when it comes to Argentina, they seem to go from proper shit to fucking hell, mate. Like, this is, if we don't win, something's going to end. They are pretty weird, so, they could do quite well, but I personally don't see that. The reason for Austria in first is, yes, conditioned, probably, well, more than likely going to be worse than Argentina and also Algeria, who are also in the group. But Austria in Euro 2024 under Ralf Rangnick brought up a surprise. I know they got knocked out in the round of 16, but they were very good up until that point. And I think they could do a number, they could catch Argentina off in a one-off game. I don't know exactly when they play, but it could happen. And I think if they beat Argentina, then they'll probably win the group, because I can see them getting enough points in the other two games. Do obviously have Argentina still going through. Then Algeria, who've got some good players. Do see Algeria going through in third place, because I think, again, Jordan being quite weak in this will probably get beat by everyone in the group. But an ultimate group is Group K. We've got one of the strong teams in the tournament in Portugal, who, hot take, I think are going to flop quite hard at this tournament. It's not going to get grouped though, just because of the quality in their group. Colombia have some good players like the likes of Luis Diaz, who I think, can carry them, just for not for the top teams, but for the lower teams who aren't really expected always to do much, to have one of those players. John Arias as well. He's just scored a brace in the friendly for Colombia in the last game. He steps up. I know he was shite at Wolves, but, again, another one of those players who, when it comes to the country, they step up. James Rodriguez, obviously, he came onto the scene at the 2014 World Cup. He's back at the World Cup. So, I don't know how good he is anymore, but, it's always nice to see an old face. DR Congo, again, could be a good team defensively. They've got some names who we've seen in the Prem and stuff before. Chancellor Mbamba, who's currently at Lille. Masuaku, who's at Lens. Tuanzebe, who's currently at Burnley. Wan-Bissaka at West Ham. We've also got players in the Prem like Noah Sadiki, and up front, Cedric Bakambu and Wissett. Now, that for me is the reason they're going to do poorly. I think defensively they've got some notable names, and they can just try and sit back and see teams out. But ultimately, they need at least someone who's good enough in attack. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said with other people, they've done completely shite with the teams and done very well. Could prove me wrong, but Wissett has been astronomically shit since joining Newcastle. Uzbekistan, obviously, I've got Kusanov. Big ups to my brother to get into the World Cup. My fucking centre-back. If Kusanov is the only player, yes, he's been very good, but you can't just have one defender. Do you know what I mean? It's pointless. It's pointless, mate. Norway, Algeria, Saudi Arabia, and Group H, third place teams.